to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Mountain Dew Zero Sugar asks, ever wonder what it would be like to live in an alternate universe? One where everything seems to work just the opposite of the way you'd expect? Well, friends, welcome to the alternate universe of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. The taste is nothing less than outrageously delicious. And Mountain Dew Zero Sugar comes in awesomely exhilarating flavors like Original Dew Zero Sugar, Mountain Dew Spark Zero Sugar, and Mountain Dew Major Melon Zero Sugar. Try the incredible flavors of Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Zero Sugar, all dew.
News Radio KYRO traffic. There's a jam up in towards St. Peter's along the westbound side of I-70, approaching Highway 79. Then you slow beyond that toward Gilmore, approaching Highway 61. Now give yourself some extra time at this point on 61 north out of Wentzville off of I-70. There's an accident getting closer toward Flint Hill. It's a little south of Highway P. Part of the roadway is blocked off. Once you get past it, you run much better toward Troy, toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Clear sky in Troy. Getting down to 56 overnight tonight. Friday's high will be in the lower 70s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the mid-70s forecast on Saturday. Currently in Troy it's 77. In Warrenton it's 74 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
24-hour towing and recovery in Lincoln, Warren, Pike, or St. Charles County. Call B&B Towing, 636-262-3865. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. B&B will be on the way, 636-262-3865.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for today. Full coverage as Hurricane Helene makes landfall. It's now close to a Category 4 hurricane and then heads right into Tallahassee, the Panhandle, up into Georgia. Governor DeSantis, by the way, will have our weather team in full working mode tonight. We'll also have the very latest on polling all around the country. We'll get reaction from Newt Gingrich. Set your DVR, 9 Eastern, Hannity, Fox News. Back here tomorrow. Thank you for making this show possible.
A violent crime is committed every 24 seconds. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association exists to provide you with firearms education, training, and access to self-defense liability insurance. So when trouble comes, you'll be ready. Over 800,000 Americans trust the USCCA, and right now, there's an exclusive, limited-time offer for radio listeners. Go to defendfamily.com to get a free family defense guide, a survival secrets training video from a retired FBI agent, and see all the benefits of membership. Go to defendfamily.com now.
So the FBI, they call it house stealing. I've been telling you about this for over a year. It is a huge problem. If you own a home, if you own any real estate, it is crucial you protect your property and your equity from these criminals. Now, I've arranged for you, my listeners, to have 50% off Home Title Locks triple lock protection. Now, you will immediately be protected. You'll get 50% off when you use the promo code Hannity. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Hannity. That's HometitleLock.com.
Wednesday nights at 7, get non-politically correct with Andrew Dodd and Lee Thompson. NPC on News Radio KYRO. Depend on it.
The question of natural disasters isn't a matter of if, but a matter of when. You see, we live in Missouri and the weather is always changing. We have major ice storms, tornadoes, hail. We have all kinds of things. And it's important to make sure that your home, auto business, whatever it is that you have, is properly insured to protect you from natural disasters. Go and talk to my friends, Dave and Holly, at Safe Harbor Insurance. Do what I did and save hundreds of dollars. Give them a call, 636-668-6296, or find them on Facebook.
News Radio KYRO traffic. There's a jam up in towards St. Peter's along the westbound side of I-70, approaching Highway 79. Then you slow beyond that toward Gilmore, approaching Highway 61. Now give yourself some extra time at this point on 61 north out of Wentzville off of I-70. There's an accident getting closer toward Flint Hill. It's a little south of Highway P. Part of the roadway is blocked off. Once you get past it, you run much better toward Troy, toward Highway 47. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 5 o'clock in the Heartland.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. Hurricane Helene, now a Category 3 storm, but gaining strength as it appears on a collision course with northwestern Florida.
It's going to be the Midnight Express. It comes after midnight tonight with a ball of wind and rain. We're talking about major league power outages that are going to last for days, if not a week or so.
Fox Weather's Bobby Van Dillen there. Several other states in the southeast also bracing for severe weather. President Biden huddling with Ukraine's leader in Washington.
The president announced a $2.4 billion security assistance package for Ukraine during an Oval Office meeting with the country's president, Volodymyr Zelensky.
And this will strengthen Ukraine's position in future negotiations.
President Biden is also directing the Defense Department to allocate all remaining Ukraine aid already approved by Congress before the end of his term.
Fox's Jared Halpern. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here with urgent news. The world's central banks are making unprecedented moves, and it's time to pay attention. In 2022 and 2023, they bought more gold than ever before. And now in 2024, the trend is accelerating. Why? Because central banks have lost faith in the dollar. And in these uncertain times, gold is the ultimate safe haven. If you too are worried about the dollar, I urge you to take similar action by diversifying your IRA or 401k into gold with my trusted friends at Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SECURE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text SECURE to 989898. That's SECURE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hey everybody, this is Sarge.
And this is the Burgundy.
You're on Newswatch, late edition, on News Radio KYRO.
Stay tuned. Coming up at 18 after, we'll be back with all of East Central Missouri's news of the day on Newswatch, late edition.
Missouri Net News, I'm Anthony Morabith. Hurricane Helene is expected to make landfall, and 45 Missouri Task Force 1 members are heading to Jacksonville, Florida to help in the aftermath. Gail Blumenkamp with Boone County Fire District in Columbia says several safety risks are at play for the highly skilled search and rescue task force members.
Rapid water, high-moving swift water rescues, they're going onto people's property that they may not want you there, and so they have to have force protection from local law enforcement or federal law enforcement.
Additionally, 13 Red Cross disaster volunteers from Missouri are also on their way to the southeast as Helene approaches Florida and Georgia. Overall, the nonprofit has sent around 360 trained disaster workers and several truckloads of supplies. And most but not all of Missouri will be spared from any effects from the hurricane. The Boot Hill counties of Pemiscot and Dunklin are under a flood watch through Saturday morning. Locally heavy rain and minor flooding also possible across other parts of southeast Missouri. There won't be a federal government shutdown, at least for now. Congress has passed a stopgap spending bill that will keep the federal government open until December 20th. Missouri U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt says it's not really something to celebrate.
The worst of Washington, quite frankly, this 3-month kick it down the road to perhaps some sort of omnibus in December, right before Christmas. It's really what people are tired of. There's not a regular appropriations process.
Missouri has reported its first human case of avian influenza or H5 bird flu. This is the 15th human case of H5 reported in the U.S. since 2022 and the 14th this year. State epidemiologist Dr. George Turabelidze says the unidentified patient who tested positive also has underlying medical conditions, but they reported no exposure to animals.
We don't really have a source of infection for this person, and we're still continuing investigation. But I have to say that from many cases that we have, there is a substantial fraction of cases where source is never determined.
This is Missouri Net.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Has been shot to death by St. Louis police after stabbing a puppy and then himself. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports the incident happened Wednesday after the 37-year-old man wandered into a St. Louis office building and began stabbing himself and his puppy. The dog is being treated and is expected to survive. Time is running out for thousands of Missourians in default on student loans to enroll in a federal assistance program.
The deadline to apply for a U.S. Department of Education program that helps borrowers get their federal student loans out of default and into good standing is September 30th. Nearly 100,000 Missourians are in default on their federal student loans. Fresh Start protects borrowers from creditors and wage garnishment, but those protections disappear come the end of this month. Over 7 million people with loans were in default before the COVID-19 pandemic pause.
That's Elisa Nelson reporting. Missouri's statewide average for regular gasoline, according to AAA, $2.88 a gallon, down 70 cents from a year ago. This is Missouri Net.
People's Bank and Trust is helping you get a grip on your finances with our new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills all from the palm of your hand. Visit us online at pbtc.net for more information and to start using mobile banking. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages ending higher, with the S&P 500 posting a new record close following strong economic data, including the final reading for second quarter gross domestic product, the nation's total output of goods and services, that showed that the economy remains in pretty good shape. Tech stocks were the best performers, while Chinese stocks rallied after Beijing announced more measures to revive the world's second largest economy. The Dow up 260 points, the Nasdaq higher by 108, S&P 500 up 23. And investors are once again excited about artificial intelligence after Micron Technology delivered an earnings and revenue beat and also issued a strong outlook for the ongoing quarter. Micron is seeing demand for data centers due to artificial intelligence. Shares of the memory chip maker rose over 14%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, right now.
Message and data rate.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the Missouri way of life. We're for worrying less about the what-ifs and more about the why-nots. We're for checking off your bucket list and then making a new one. For starting a family, a business, a tradition. And if you find yourself starting over, we're here for that too. We're for building a life in Missouri and then going out and living it. And when it comes to making sure everything you've built is protected, we're for you.
Call Sandy Turner at 107B North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-528-8443.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles,
Here's Monty Bolaños.
The Oakland A's are playing their last game at the Coliseum. They're currently beating the Rangers 3-2. It's the top of the 8th inning, and they're doing it in front of 46,889 fans. Earlier today, the White Sox completed a sweep of the Angels with a 7-0 shutout. The Angels set a franchise record for the most losses in a season with 96. The Tigers edged the Rays 4-3, and the Royals swept the Nationals 7-4. Detroit and Kansas City's magic number is now down to 2, while the Mariners have been eliminated from playoff contention. In the NFL, neither Texans running backs Joe Mixon nor Dameon Pierce practiced today. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell also didn't practice for a second straight day, and they added wide receiver Nico Collins to the injury report today, listed him as limited due to a hamstring injury. Lions tight end Sam Laporta did not practice due to an ankle injury. Falcons running back Bijan Robinson was limited because of a shoulder injury.
It's 5:10 in East Central Missouri, and you're on the Newswatch PM edition. Traffic and weather together on the 10s starts right now.
East Central Missouri's News Radio KYRO. Depend on it.
News Radio KYRO traffic. There's a minor delay forming through St. Peters along the westbound side of I-70 that begins near Mid-Rivers Mall Drive around toward Highway 79. A little sluggish and spotting toward Wentzville as well towards 61. Now, heading in toward Lake St. Louis, I-64 is crawling going westbound near 364. That's a little slow toward I-70. And beyond that, 61 going north is incident-free toward Troy as you head toward Highway 47. That's a pretty good ride. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Clear sky in Troy. Getting down to 56 overnight tonight. Friday's high will be in the lower 70s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the mid-70s forecast on Saturday. Currently in Troy it's 77. In Warrenton it's 74 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Trax Pizza. Outstanding pizza, sandwiches, and pasta. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Open daily at 3 p.m. Order online at TraxPizzaCompany.com. Call 264-8600 or come see us on Main Street in historic downtown Winfield. Trax Pizza, 264-8600.
If you see a down power line, Quiver River Electric reminds you to always assume the line is energized and dangerous. Avoid going near it or anything in contact with the power line. Never drive over a down power line or through water touching the power line. If you see a down power line, notify the local authorities immediately. To learn more, call us at 1-800-392-3709 or visit safeelectric.org. A safety message from Quiver River Electric Cooperative.
The very latest ag news from the Brownfield Network, brought to you this hour by the Wrecking Crew in Troy, Winfield, and Vandalia. Call 636-462-1727.
Cattle were higher Thursday. Hogs, corn, and soybeans finished lower. I'm John Perkins with a Brownfield Market Update. Stein's devotion to innovation means you can count on Stein to provide you the best products, get you higher yields and more profitability. Stein has yield. Live life your way with Stein. Soybeans are down on profit-taking and technical selling, along with spillover from a reversal in soybean oil. Harvest delays are still likely in the south and east as Hurricane Helene makes landfall and moves inland. Contracts are a little bit overbought, though, after the recent gains. November beans were 12 1/4 lower at 10.41. January was down 12 1/2 at 10.59 1/4. October soybean meal was $1.90 lower at $3.2420, and also looking overbought, October bean oil was down 146 points at $42.92. Corn was lower on profit-taking. Central and western parts of the Corn Belt should be able to make solid near-term harvest progress. The trade's also monitoring planting conditions in Argentina and Brazil. December corn was 2 lower at 4.13 1/4. March was down 2 1/4 at 4.31. And wheat was lower on profit-taking. Soft red winter planting delays are probable, but there should be good hard red winter progress. Drought in the Black Sea region is a continued concern for global wheat. December Chicago was 5 lower at 5.84 1/4. December Kansas City was down 2 at 5.79. December Minneapolis wheat was 5 1/2 lower at 6.11 1/2. Live and feeder cattle were higher, watching direct cash cattle business develop. Megan Grebner's going to have more on that in just a bit. October live is up $1.05 at 184.10. December was 50 higher at 184.82. October feeders were up 90 at 246.92. November feeder cattle were 92 higher at 244.97. And hogs were lower ahead of the USDA's quarterly inventory and cold storage reports, which were out after the close. October lean was down 45 at 82.02. December was 97 cents lower at 73.92. Megan Grebner has that full look at cash livestock after this.
Black vultures can be harmful to livestock operations across Missouri. Missouri Farm Bureau offers depredation permits.
Our permit is only eligible for livestock producers. We will ask if they haven't lost any livestock, if they've experienced harassment from the black-headed vulture. We also ask estimated number of black-headed vultures they've seen within 5 miles of their property. As soon as the application is turned in to us at Missouri Farm Bureau, we work really hard to try to get an approval letter. As soon as the producer receives permit approval from us, which would be in the form of a letter, the producer is approved to shoot. Employees of an operation, spouse, kids, sons and daughters are eligible to be on the permit as well, and they're eligible to shoot. Permit is limited to just 5 takes per operation, but I would ask that, if a producer is interested, we'll get you an application as quickly as possible.
To find out more, go to agriculture.mo.gov.
Moderate round of direct cash cattle trade took place on Thursday. Deals in Kansas were at $184 to $185 live, and in Texas at $185 live. That's $2 higher than the previous week's weighted averages. Dress deals were at $294 in Nebraska, about $4 higher than the prior week's business. Box beef closed lower on light demand for solid offerings. Choice down $1.80 at $296.37. Select was 91 cents lower at $282.37. Estimated cattle slaughter was 124,000 head, up 2,000 on the week and about even on the year. Cash hogs close higher with a fairly light negotiated run. Barrows and gilts at the National Daily Direct up $1.14 with a weighted average of 78.18. The Iowa Minnesota was 22 cents higher, and the Western Corn Belt up 61 cents. Both had a weighted average of 78.18. Pork values were higher, up 54 cents at 94.64, and estimated hog slaughter was 486,000 head. I'm Megan Grebner for Brownfield.
Mahomes in the pocket, throws it left, caught Juju Smith-Schuster, angling left, fire, dive! On it.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Trust the professionals at Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions. Buying or selling, they'll make your dreams come true. Here's farm auction and acreage expert Dan Stokes.
Meyer & Company's been in the business for over 40 years. We specialize in things called 1031 exchanges, so we're very versed in how to exchange farm ground for other farm ground. So it's something that we do on a daily basis, and we really enjoy doing it.
We are the #1 stop in the region for buying and selling residential, commercial, and farm real estate. We've been serving the area for more than 40 years, and we do it with pride.
It's still a pretty strong seller's market. Dollars per acre is still high. If you're able to connect with a good agent and you can find something off market, we do that all the time, and we're able to still get some deals out there here and there.
Dan Stokes.
You can either call my cell phone at 314-971-0654, or you can call the brokerage at 636-462-5555.
Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, North Lincoln Drive in Troy, 636-462-5555. Online at meyerlistings.com.
Well, good Thursday afternoon. It is time for Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy. And today is one of those days that Burgundy is out on assignment. So joining me in the Gateway Fiber studio here on News Radio 105.3 FM, 1280 AM. KYRO is none other than our KYRO political analyst. He is Andrew Dodd.
Hello, Sarge.
How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. I am doing good.
I have a couple of sheets that has regular news on it that we do, just about every day, right?
Yeah.
Well, as you can see on the camera on KYRO Facebook page and Traveling East Productions Facebook page, I've got them in my hand, but I'm setting them to the side. We're not even going to go over those today because in about 50 seconds, we're going to go to traffic and weather.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, we're going to talk about odd, weird, downright stupid news that comes out on a daily basis.
Perfect. This sounds like a lot of fun for today.
We've got rescues going on between countries. We've got children driving SUVs. We've got scientists that just have too much time on their hands and so much more.
Well, this should definitely be fun. I mean, if you're out there driving around, get ready for a whole lot of fun that is certainly going to be coming your way in this News Watch Late Edition.
That's right.
Man, it's gonna be fun today with all that good stuff.
Traffic and weather, and we'll be right back.
News Radio KYRO traffic. There's a minor delay forming through St. Peter's along the westbound side of I-70 that begins near Mid-Rivers Mall Drive around toward Highway 79. A little sluggish and spotting toward Wentzville as well towards 61. Now heading in toward Lake St. Louis, I-64 is crawling going westbound near 364. That's a little slow toward I-70. And beyond that, 61 going north is incident-free toward Troy as you head toward Highway 47. That's a pretty good ride. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Clear sky in Troy. Getting down to 56 overnight tonight. Friday's high will be in the lower 70s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the mid-70s forecast on Saturday. Currently in Troy it's 77. In Warrenton it's 74 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Hello there, world. It's Dodd from Morning Java. I have a business, and I would not have anyone else insure my business other than Safe Harbor Insurance in Winfield. No matter what type of insurance it is you need for your business, Dave and Holly can help you to get exactly the coverage you need for your most important investment, your business. They're right here in Winfield. They're brokers, so they have tons of companies that they can pick from to get you the best coverage for whatever you need. 636-668-6296.
I do like our news music here.
Oh, do you?
Like, you know, it's kind of catchy a little bit. It makes you bounce your head a little bit, you know. But today, we're going to pipe it down a little bit early because we're going to jump right into
I think that's
really
a great
cool
idea.
stuff.
I say pipe it down all the time. It's fine. If we're not playing Dirty Laundry as our intro song, I'm just like, whatever.
I love it. All right, let's go. Let's jump right in.
All right, let's do it. What do you got?
Oddity news.
All right.
Bedford, Ohio is the first place we're going to visit today. An 8-year-old girl took an SUV from her Ohio home and drove for miles to a store where she was later found unharmed, authorities said. The girl, whose name was not released, and the vehicle, a 2020 Nissan Rogue, so a pretty, somewhat newish car, were reported missing around 9 a.m. Sunday, Bedford police said. Family members said they had last seen the girl at the residence about 2 hours earlier. As police launched an investigation, they learned a small child had been spotted driving a vehicle on a nearby road, but that vehicle could not be located. The SUV eventually was found a short time later in the parking lot of a Target store in Bainbridge, which, get this, is nearly 13 miles from her house. Police soon found the child by herself inside the store. She told officers she had struck a mailbox while driving, but nothing else. Authorities did not say why she had decided to travel to the store or provide further details about her trip. The girl is too young to be charged criminally, police said. It wasn't clear Monday if any charges would be filed in the matter, which remains under investigation, but I would think that the parents are at least liable to, fixing that mailbox that she drove into.
Well, that's a pretty cool story. That's fun. When you said something disappeared, I figured it was probably somebody's cats and there were some Haitians involved. But that's a pretty good story. Lighthearted, happy ending.
Yeah, very, 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 very much so. Now, you're in the rescue business.
Sure.
This is kind of a cool story here.
All right.
Themselves at the center of an international rescue effort last month after receiving a call from an Albanian man who thought he was calling emergency personnel in Dover, England. The mix-up happened August the 27th when the man learned that his brother's boat was sinking in the English Channel. The caller had conducted an internet search for the Dover Police Department, and the first search result on the screen proved to be the Dover, Delaware Police Department. A family member thought they were calling Dover, England, but was connected with our agency here in the United States. Recognizing that trying to refer that frantic caller to authorities in England could cost valuable time, communications operator Mackenzie Atkinson kept the man on the line and began collecting critical information. The caller provided the coordinates of the vessel, and Atkinson, who had recently acquired certification from the International Academies of Emergency Dispatch, following protocols for a vessel in distress. Meanwhile, Communications Officer Connor Logan began making international notifications. Within 4 minutes, he established contact with several agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, French Coast Guard, His Majesty's Coast Guard in England, the United Kingdom's Maritime and Coast Guard Agencies Coordination Center, and police stations in Dover, England. Dover Police said that 15 minutes and 48 seconds after the initial call, the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency confirmed that rescuers were on their way to the vessel. Dover Police said they received confirmation on September the 5th that the vessel and everyone on board was safely returned to the port of Dover, England. Denver police officials have nominated Atkinson, Logan, and 2 other communications officers on duty during the emergency for a distinguished unit commendation. That's very cool. I like that. Helping our people across the pond.
No, that's pretty fun.
That
makes for a more interesting day than the normal day at dispatch. So, yeah, sounds pretty good.
Now, we've got about 3 minutes before we get to our next traffic and weather.
Oh, boy.
So this story might have to be broken up in 2, just
all right,
possibly.
Let's do it. This one, so far, you're on a hit today.
Scientists have too much time on their hands. I have said that for many years.
Too much American tax money.
A study that explores the feasibility of using pigeons to guide missiles, and one that looks at the swimming abilities of dead fish were among the winners Thursday of this year's IG Nobels, the prize for comical scientific achievement. Held less than a month before the actual Nobel Prizes are announced, the 34th annual IG Nobel Prize ceremony at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology was organized by the Annals of Improbable Research magazine's website to make people laugh and think. Okay. Winners received a transparent box containing historic items related to Murphy's Law, the theme of the night, and a nearly worthless Zimbabwean $10 trillion bill.
That's awesome.
Actual Nobel laureates handed the winners their prizes.
That's fantastic.
Now, while some politicians were trying to make sensible things sound crazy, scientists discovered some crazy sounding things that make a lot of sense. Mark Abrams, master of ceremonies and editor of the magazine, said in an email interview. Now, the ceremony started with Keith Moliker, winner of the 2003 IG Nobel for Biology, giving out safety instructions. His prize for a study that documented the existence of, get this, homosexual necrophilia in mallard ducks.
Now, I know for a fact that one was funded by the U.S. Department of Conservation.
Oof. This is the duck, he said, holding up a duck. This is the dead one. Now, after that, someone came on stage wearing a yellow target on their chest and a plastic face mask. Soon, they were inundated with people in the audience throwing paper airplanes at them.
That's awesome.
Then the awards began. Several dry presentations, which were interrupted by a girl coming on stage and repeatedly yelling, "Please stop, I'm bored." The award ceremony was also broken up by an international song competition inspired by Murphy's Law, including one about coleslaw and another about the legal system, and we'll continue this story.
Oh my!
Right after the
That's
traffic and weather
fantastic.
that comes up right now.
News Radio KYRO traffic. There's a minor delay forming through St. Peter's along the westbound side of I-70 that begins near Mid-Rivers Mall Drive around toward Highway 79. A little sluggish and spotting toward Wentzville as well towards 61. Now heading in toward Lake St. Louis, I-64 is crawling going westbound near 364. That's a little slow toward I-70. And beyond that, 61 going north is incident-free toward Troy as you head toward Highway 47. That's a pretty good ride. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer and Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Few clouds in Troy. Getting down to 56 overnight tonight. Friday's high will be in the lower 70s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the mid-70s forecast on Saturday. Currently in Troy it's 76. In Warrenton it's 74 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer and Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
News, I'm John Saucier. Hurricane Helene making its way towards the Florida Gulf Coast could become a Category 5 storm by the time it makes landfall. Several cities across Florida and Georgia bracing for the winds, rain, lightning, even tornadoes possible. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp says,
I would encourage people to make final preparations before this afternoon so that you'll be ready when the storm comes into our state.
Power crew is already stationed in the area. They're ready to respond once the storm clears. New York City Mayor Eric Adams indicted on federal charges of bribery and taking illegal campaign funds from foreign services. The mayor says he still plans to do his job in office, is urging residents to hear his side before rushing to judgment.
It's an unfortunate day, and it's a painful day. But inside of all of that, it's a day where we will finally reveal why for 10 months I have gone through this.
America's listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here with urgent news. The world's central banks are making unprecedented moves, and it's time to pay attention. In 2022 and 2023, they bought more gold than ever before. And now in 2024, the trend is accelerating. Why? Because central banks have lost faith in the dollar. And in these uncertain times, gold is the ultimate safe haven. If you too are worried about the dollar, I urge you to take similar action by diversifying your IRA or 401k into gold with my trusted friends at Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SECURE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text SECURE to 989898. That's SECURE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
Old Monroe Lumber Company has the really big tools you need to get the job done right. Not only in the retail store, but in the rental area too. Bobcats, excavators, dingoes, and lift equipment, including a 65-foot boom lift, scissor lifts, and more. Need something a little smaller? Old Monroe Lumber Company rents saws, log splitters, jackhammers, water pumps, and dump trailers. Just about anything you need delivered to your job site.
We are going over odd news.
Wacky news, man. This stuff is hilarious.
And now, when we last left, we were talking about this story about scientists and having too much time on their hands.
Way too much.
Getting IG Nobels, and those are prizes for comical scientific achievement.
Oh, boy.
Now, the winners were honored in 10 categories.
Oh, no.
Including for peace and anatomy. Among them were scientists who showed a vine from Chile that imitates the shapes of artificial plants nearby, and another study that examined whether the hair on people's heads in the northern hemisphere swirled in the same direction as someone's hair in the southern hemisphere.
Oh, my.
Other winners include a group of scientists who showed that fake medicine, now follow me on this one, showed that fake medicine that causes side effects can be more effective than fake medicine that doesn't cause side effects.
Well, then the COVID vaccine should have been 1,000% effective.
Right? And one showing that some mammals
Yes.
are capable of breathing through their anus. Winners who came on stage were wearing fish-inspired hats.
Oh, my gosh. This would have been fun to go to.
Now, Julie Skinner Vargas accepted the Peace Prize on behalf of her late father, B.F. Skinner, who wrote the Pigeon Missile Study.
Oh, the Pigeon Missile Study. Oh, please.
Skinner Vargas is also the head of the B.F. Skinner Foundation. I want to thank you for finally acknowledging his most important contribution, she said. Thank you for putting the record straight. And that's it on it. Nothing else was said about it.
My gosh.
So what is up with this pigeon missile study?
Oh, my gosh.
James Lau, a biology professor at the University of Florida, accepted the physics prize for his study demonstrating and explaining the swimming abilities of a dead trout.
Congratulations there, Florida man. Good job.
He says, I discovered that a live fish moved more than a dead fish, but not by much. Lau said, holding up a fake fish. A dead trout towed behind a stick also flaps his tail to the beat of the current like a live fish surfing on swirling eddies, recapturing the energy in its environment. A dead fish does live fish things.
Well, I guess that helps for anybody who's arguing over whether or not you should use live or dead bait to go fishing. I mean, sounds like it doesn't really matter. Wow.
Crazy.
And I did the dead fish study. What? Good job, Florida man. You win again. Yay, Florida man.
Now, we've got about 3 minutes before we go to another traffic and
Oh, my
update.
gosh.
But I've got a couple of small stories.
Oh, bring
that
it.
We can go
Please
real
bring
quick.
it.
Father installs surveillance camera on daughter's head to keep an eye on her. A Pakistani father. Of course it's a Pakistani father.
Of course it is.
Fearing for his daughter's safety, allegedly made her wear a surveillance camera on her head so he can keep an eye on her. There is nothing a good parent won't do to ensure their child's safety. For example, one Pakistani man recently went viral on X for installing that surveillance camera on his young daughter's head so he can monitor her activities throughout that day and made sure she was all right. In the viral video titled Next Level Security, the Pakistani woman is shown being interviewed while wearing a CCTV camera on her burqa-covered head.
Well, I knew it was either going to involve a burqa or neo-evangelical homeschoolers. They're basically the same people, so, just had to, wow.
And asked about the bizarre accessory, she said that it was her father's idea, adding that she had nothing against it because she knew her parents were concerned about her safety.
Oh, my gosh. Hashtag brainwash me.
Now, this is a cool one. This is a cool one coming up. We've got about a minute 15. Company launches motor-powered pants that increase leg strength by 40%.
Okay.
The Arc'teryx Mogo hiking pants come with a built-in exoskeleton powered by powerful motors that can increase the wearer's leg strength by 40% and make them feel 30 pounds lighter. Wow. Okay. Motor-powered exoskeletons have been a reality for years, especially in the medical field, but not so much in the leisure department. That is about to change as outdoor brand Arc'teryx and Google spinoff Skip recently teamed up to create the world's first powered pants called Mogo, short for mountain goat. The innovative garment is more than a piece of clothing. It comes with bespoke carbon fiber support structures that feed power from integrated AI controlled motors at the knees to the wearer's leg muscles during ascents and decreasing pressure on their knees during descents. Marked as a mobility device, Mogo pants are designed to make hiking more accessible to people who may not
News
have
Radio
endurance before.
KYRO
Weather and
There's
traffic.
a minor delay forming through St. Peters along the westbound side of I-70 that begins near Mid-Rivers Mall Drive around toward Highway 79. A little sluggish and spawning toward Wentzville as well towards 61. Now heading in toward Lake St. Louis, I-64 is crawling going westbound near 364. That's a little slow toward I-70. And beyond that, 61 going north is incident-free toward Troy as you head toward Highway 47. That's a pretty good ride. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Few clouds in Troy. Getting down to 56 overnight tonight. Friday's high will be in the lower 70s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the mid-70s forecast on Saturday. Currently in Troy it's 76. In Warrenton it's 74 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
When you've got a plumbing emergency in Pike, Lincoln, St. Charles, or Warren County, call Frank the Plumber. 25 years experience, licensed and insured, and emergency response available. Call 636-236-2190.
Hi, this is Frank the Plumber. For all your plumbing needs, give me a call.
Call Frank the Plumber.
636-236-2190.
Well, welcome back to Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy. But Burgundy, he's out on assignment and in his place today. And for the next couple of Tuesdays and Thursdays, joining me in the Gateway Fiber Studios, the one and only Andrew Dodd. And thank you so much again for joining me today. We're having fun this afternoon going over odd news. And currently right now, Andrew Dodd is looking up that last story that we were just talking about. And if you missed it, we're talking about this company that launched motor-powered pants that increase leg strength by 40%. Have you seen anything?
Well, I'm actually looking at it right now, and they appear to be pretty cool.
Okay. Now, I read that kind of quick the last time because we were up against that break, but I'm going to, halfway through this, I'm going to read some of this again. Now, the innovative garment is more than a piece of clothing. It comes with bespoke carbon fibers support structures that feed power from integrated AI-controlled motors at the knees to the wearer's leg muscles during ascents and decreases pressure on their knees during descents. And it means ascents going up, descents going down.
Yep.
Marketed as a mobility device, Mogo pants are designed to make hiking more accessible to people who may not have the endurance for it. That's actually pretty cool. I kind of like that.
Wow. Yeah,
that's being very innovative.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. Yeah.
He is speechless, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. I'm just like, all right, this is pretty cool stuff.
Not everything is bad, I guess, huh?
No, this is pretty good stuff.
Now, we all, that have been listening long enough know that, you're not really into sports. You're not into football. You're not into baseball. But, college football players aspire to play in bowl games. Professional players dream of playing in the Super Bowl. But how about the Mud Bowl?
Okay.
A bunch of amateurs in New Hampshire just want to get muddy. On Sunday, a 3-day sloppy, muddy mess wrapped up for the Mud Bowl, which is celebrating its 50th year of football, featuring players trudging through knee-deep muck while trying to reach the end zone. For these athletes, playing in mud brings out their inner child.
Boy, do I know somebody who would love to play this game.
Now, you're playing football in the mud, so you've got to have a smile on your face, said Jason Vino, the 50-year-old quarterback of the North Country Mud Crocs, who described mud as an equalizer. It's just a different game in the mud. It doesn't matter how good you are on the grass. That doesn't matter in the mud.
Yeah, I guess it really wouldn't.
The annual event takes place at Hog Coliseum, located in the heart of North Conway. And, of course, this is in New Hampshire.
That's awesome.
It kicked off Friday night with a revelry and music, and followed by a tournament of mud parade on Saturday. All told, a dozen teams with men and women competed in the tournament in hopes of emerging as a solid victor. And I was looking at some pictures that they had posted for us. There was also cheerleaders out in the mud.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Now, Ryan Martin said he's been playing mud ball for almost 20 years and said it's a good excuse to meet up with old friends he's grown up with. You get to a point where you're just like, I'm not going pro on anything. I might as well feel like I'm still competing day in and day out, he said. Now, we also acknowledge that the sport has some lingering effects, mostly with mud infiltrating every nook and cranny of the body. It gets in the eyes, you get cracks in your feet, and you get mud in your toenails for weeks, he said. You get it in your eyes too, or in your ears too. You'll be cleaning out your ears for a long while. You'll be blowing your nose, and you'll get some dirt, and you're like, oh, I didn't know it still had that up there.
Oh, that's funny. That is fantastic.
Mahala Smith is also sold on the camaraderie of the event. She said that she fell in love with football early in life and has been playing the sport since first grade, and ultimately joined a women's team for tackle football in 2018 and played that for a few years before she was invited to play in the mud. She said the weekend was a treat. It's like a little mini vacation and everybody is friendly. People hang out at the hotels and restaurants. People's camp. We all have fires and stuff. Just like a nice group event. Even though it's fun, the teams are serious about winning, though. And the two-handed touch football can get chippy on the field of play. But it's all fun once the games are over. Many of the players were star high school or college athletes, and there have been a smattering of retired pros over the years as well, Vino said. The theme was 50 years, the best of 5 decades. Now, this is the best part, I think. Over the years, the event has raised more than $1 million for charity.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's cool. I'd go watch somebody play mud football. It'd be way better than another version of foosball you guys are all into.
Yeah, this is true. Now, we've got about 2 minutes before the next traffic and weather.
Yeah.
So I may have to stop this one in the middle.
Bring it on.
Okay.
That's all right. Let's hear what this one is. This has been hilarious so far.
3 sisters together in Toledo, Ohio, who inherited a dime kept in a bank vault for more than 40 years, knew it had some value. But they had no idea just how much until just a few years ago. The extraordinarily rare coin struck by the U.S. Mint in San Francisco in 1975 could bring more than $500,000, said Ian Russell, president of Great Collections, which specializes in currency and is handling an online auction that will end in October. What makes the dime depicting Franklin D. Roosevelt so valuable is missing the S Mint mark for San Francisco, one of just 2 without the mark known to exist. The other one sold at a 2019 auction for $456,000 and then again months later to a private collector.
Wow.
While serious coin collectors have long known about the existence of these 2 rare dimes, their whereabouts had remained a mystery since the late 1970s. They were hidden for decades, Russell said. Most major collectors and dealers have never seen one. The Mint in San Francisco made more than 2.8 million special uncirculated proof sets in 1975 that featured 6 coins and were sold for $7. Collectors a few years later discovered that 2 dimes from the set were missing the Mint mark. And we're going to traffic and weather in 10 seconds, and we'll finish this story up on the other side of the break. And that traffic and weather coming up right now.
News Radio KYRO traffic. There's a minor delay forming through St. Peters along the westbound side of I-70. That begins near Mid-Rivers Mall Drive around toward Highway 79. A little sluggish and spotting toward Wentzville as well towards 61. Now heading in toward Lake St. Louis, I-64 is crawling going westbound near 364. That's a little slow toward I-70. And beyond that, 61 going north is incident-free toward Troy as you head toward Highway 47. That's a pretty good ride. That's the latest News Radio KYRO traffic. I'm Rick Dixon.
News Radio KYRO weather from the Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions Weather Center, online at MeyerListings.com. Few clouds in Troy. Getting down to 56 overnight tonight. Friday's high will be in the lower 70s, light rain likely. Temperatures in the mid-70s forecast on Saturday. Currently in Troy it's 76. In Warrenton it's 74 degrees. Perfect homes, commercial real estate or farm ground, Meyer & Company Real Estate and Auctions, online at MeyerListings.com. I'm Erica Walters.
Are you ready to get in the game with the Kansas City Chiefs radio network? You can win a VIP game day experience including tickets, parking, and a visit to the Chiefs radio booth to watch Mitch Holthus in action. All thanks to Shelter Insurance. Participating Shelter agents can register you in the drawing. So visit shelterinsurance.com/getinthegame to find out how you can sign up.
Contact Shelter Agent Jeff Dunn in Wentzville or Chris Hansel in Overland for your chance to get in the game.
Welcome back to Newswatch Late Edition with Sarge and Burgundy out, Andrew Dodd in. Thank you again so much for joining me. We've been going over all kinds of crazy stories today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been absolutely hilarious. A totally different kind of news commentary than I'm used to doing, and it is most certainly fun.
It is. And now, programming note real quick for everyone. This evening, the Q Now is not going to be on tonight. Mark Bland out sick. So in its place, we will have Thursday night football. It'll be the Dallas Cowboys traveling to New York to take on the Giants. Now, when we last left before the last break, we were talking about this specific dime that these set of sisters were holding on to, thinking that they would be extremely valuable. Now, the sisters from Ohio who inherited one of these 2 dimes that had been missing for a long time after the recent death of a brother, want to remain anonymous given their sudden windfall, Russell said. Now, they shared with Russell that their brother and mother in 1978 bought the first error coin discovered for $18,200, which would amount to roughly $90,000 in today's money. Their parents, who operated a dairy farm, saw the coin as a financial safety net. One of the sisters said her brother often talked about the rare coin, but she never saw it firsthand until last year. Russell, whose company is based in Irvine, California, and this person, I lost it. Well, he basically owns a coin collecting company. He, based in Irvine, California, said their brother reached out to him about 7 years ago and eventually told him about the coin. He, too, kept the secret. Now, when Russell told one of the sisters just a few years ago about the coin's potential value, he said she remarked, "Is that really possible?" Well, now the coin, known as the 1975 No-S proof dime, will be displayed at a coin show beginning Wednesday in Tampa, Florida, and before the auction closes in late October, Russell said. While there is a chance more examples of the rare dime are out there, they would only be found among the 1975 proof sets and not in anyone's pocket change. So if you think that you might have it, chances are you don't.
Wow.
That's crazy stuff.
That's wild. $500,000 dime.
I got a crazy one now.
No, what do you got?
I got a crazy one here.
Oh, let's see what.
I can't get over this one.
Oh, we're going off the crazy train. I can already feel it.
Yeah, Monrovia, California, here we come.
Well, it's going to be nuts for sure.
Newly listed for sale in Southern California's notoriously pricey realty market, half a house for $500,000.
Okay.
The one-bedroom, one-bathroom bungalow in suburban Monrovia, northeast of Los Angeles, was crushed by a tree in May with 2 renters and 2 dogs inside. There were no injuries, but a fence and most of the roof were mangled. Now, what's left of the property, with missing walls, hanging wires, and no ceilings, is for sale at $499,999. Listing agent Kevin Wheeler quipped to the Los Angeles Times that it's an open concept floor plan.
I like it. I like that so far.
The listed size of 645 square feet, or 60 square meters, is based on measurements taken before the tree fell. Wheeler said the electricity is turned off, but the plumbing still works.
Oh.
Monrovia regulations state that demolitions on properties more than 50 years old, which the house is, require a review. But since it was destroyed by what's known as an act of God, a review isn't required, according to Wheeler. So house hunters can buy what's left of the home and fix it up without dealing with some of the red tape typically required during rebuilds. There's been a lot of interest so far because demand is so high and inventory, especially at this price, is so low, Wheeler told the Times.
Oh my gosh. That is absolute insanity.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Goodness. How about we go overseas again?
Okay.
Shall we?
So let's do it.
Super ants are on the move.
Dun, 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 dun.
European countries struggle to repel invasion of aggressive
Migrants.
super ants.
Migrants.
European countries like Germany, France, and Switzerland are trying to contain an invasion of Tapenoma magnum ants.
Whoa.
A species that experts say is virtually impossible to get rid of. Usually found through the Mediterranean basin, the Middle East, and North Africa.
You mean where all the migrants come from?
Well, some of them.
That's weird.
Tapenoma magnum ants have recently begun an invasion of Europe. Over the last couple of years, the tiny critters, no more than 3 millimeters in size, have been rampaging through some of the world's most developed countries, teaching their residents the meaning of fear. Tapenoma ants are famous for their ability to rapidly expand over large areas, as well as their resilience. Experts say that the tiny ants have hundreds of queens and can create several smaller colonies that, instead of attacking each other, unite to create one super colony with millions of individuals. They are relentless in their search for resources, eating through walls, pavement, and even internet or electricity cables.
Germany, you're up.
A minute and a half. If
they make it past you, Russia, you're right behind them. You guys are good at repelling things like that.
Some of the news that just comes out is just crazy.
Wow. Super ants. Mm.
And real quick, there was a woman. We've got about a minute left in the show. A woman survives with almost 2 hours with a 15-foot long python coiled around her body. A 64-year-old lady was attacked by a large python while doing the dishes at her home in Samut Prakan, Thailand, and survived for about 2 hours with the reptile trying to suffocate her to death.
Well, that's what constrictors do. So, if you don't want to be constricted, don't live in places where constrictors live.
That's right. At first, she thought she had been bitten by one of the many insects that call the reed forest behind her house home, but when she looked down, she saw a huge snake climbing up her leg. She instinctively grabbed the snake's head and tried to pull it off of her, but it was too strong. Eventually, somebody came in and saw what was going on, was able to take the snake off of her.
Wow.
15 seconds left in the
That's
show.
nuts. Thank you for having me, Sarge. That was
Andrew,
fun, buddy.
Thank you so much. That was so much fun. We're going to do this again on
Yes,
Tuesday.
we will. We will. Come see me at Black Flag Outfitters, guys.
And you guys have a great evening.
Live from the Gateway Fiber Studios, online at gatewayfiber.com. News Radio 105.3, 1280 KYRO Troy. It's 6 o'clock in the Heartland.
I'm John Saucier. President Biden meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office today, who was thankful for American support